Hey guys, in today's video I'm going to be teaching you variable basics in C++. Start by opening the C++ project folder and opening the main.cpp file within that folder once again if you aren't already in that folder slash file like I am. If you have the hello world code from the previous two videos in that file, simply delete this line. If you don't have the hello world code in your main.cpp file, you can simply copy paste the base code in the pinned comment down below if it's there, or you can get some good practice by trying to code the bare minimum by yourself. Don't forget that having the int main function is a requirement, otherwise you'll get an error. Also, don't forget to return 0 at the end of the function to be explicit. Now to cover the new topic. Start by coding these two lines. Include IOStream, which we used in the last video and should still be there if you had the hello world code from last time. And include string, which allows us to use std string and its features. More on that later. In the first line of the main function, we'll write the line int age equals 20. This line basically means that we are creating a variable of type int initialized with the value 20. There's more to int/integers in C++ that we won't be covering in this video. On the next line, create a variable called pi with type double initialized to 3.14159. We could also use float here, which is basically a less precise version of double, but you don't really need to worry about that yet and should just stick to using double. By the way, a float is basically just a number with a decimal point, so that isn't really accurate. Just a tip on when to use double/float over integer variable types. Keep in mind that floats aren't exactly precise, which can sometimes lead to unexpected results when working with them. On the next line, create a variable called isCoder with type bool set to true. Variables with type bool can have two values, true or false, often represented as 1 or 0 by C++ respectively. So just stick to using true or false for bool variable type declarations, which shouldn't come as a surprise because bool is just shorthand for boolean, and a boolean is just a value that is either true or false. We are only going to be covering two more types of variables in this video, and the first of those is the char variable type. On the next line, create a variable called mathgrade with type char initialized to a. Make sure the value is in single quotes here. There is, you guessed it, more to char that won't be covered in this video. Make sure to remember to only put one character in char variables and to remember to put that character in single quotes. The last type of variable we will go over in this video is those with type std string. A string is just a sequence of characters, so it shouldn't come as a surprise that std string is a sequence of characters with some other features. On the next line, create one more variable called name with type std string initialized to whatever your name is. Make sure the sequence of characters is in double quotes here. There's more to std string that won't be covered in this video. You can also make a variable a constant using const before the variable initialization, best for values that shouldn't change, like the pi variable from earlier as well. We'll cover why this actually matters in a later video. To output the variable's values to the console, simply use the code down below, which I'm about to paste from another source to save some time. Then save the file, recompile the code, and run the new executable. The only big thing to notice here is that when we want to output a variable, we simply use the variable's name without quotes. Make sure to separate each variable in string literal, the stuff you want outputted exactly, also known as the stuff that's in double quotes, using in the code to output text to the console. Finally, try changing the value of one of the variables. Try creating a new variable with one of the variable types we went over lesson. Try outputting that new variable, and try making the pi variable a constant as well. By this point, you probably know the drill, but I'll say it one more time. After changing the code, save it, recompile it, and run the new executable. Also, you pretty much always put a semicolon on variable declaration lines, so it shouldn't be too hard to remember semicolons when creating variables. I also recommend only using variables in the main function for now as well, though that will eventually change. If you want me to cover a different variable type not mentioned in this video, or you want me to do a deeper dive on one of the variable types mentioned in this video, let me know down in the comments below. There's a lot more to variables that will be gradually covered, but that's basically all you need to know for now. And that concludes C++ variable basics. Make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Till next time, bye.